been around the block for quite a while, and a Frenchman joining up with this team in the form of Beast, who was also playing in the final, specifically the Final Form team that we know and love so well. He had to replace Fruit Cup X on that team, so big shoes to fill. So being able to find himself at ECL is already a strong sight for a couple of these players, but eyes on Scorchy tonight. Obviously, NRG are the massive favorites coming into this one. It could be a dominant 2-0. Hold on. We even have another player in the... We have Axarka in the server as well. One of Scorchy's teammates from MCS joining up tonight. So we have even more excitement on the cards.
All right. There we go. We're getting a little reunion now of this squad, and we'll see them start off on this T side, ready to go with the pistols. 3 players falling out of house, 4 players rather, and a molly for stairs, so that's not much of an option. As OC still connects there through the smoke, able to collect there and trying to jump on top of Tetris. Tyra goes down as well, so retake formation here, fast into CT spawn. The whole CT side squad rolling on up and knocking heads clean off there. That's Bro for you. And trying to chase down Scorchy in a 1v5. He's dancing around this box quite nicely. A chance for another. He almost finds a little bit extra damage right there. A chance at that round makes possible, but Defuse going to come through from Hex, and it will be NRG starting off right.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get the third as well, because Nitro was 4 HP, but he did spin on a dime and deliver the headshot. Got a bit surprising. Yeah, we do see an extra player here for the side of InControl. Axarka, another one of Scorchy's MCS teammates, another impressive player linking up. We've got just more surprises here tonight, here from this InControl team. I am definitely looking forward to this.
So they were, not too long ago competing in main as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe MCS were like in main playoffs for season 48.
Wow.
But then really just stepped it up when it came to the local lands here in NA. So yeah, some exciting stuff.
That's pretty sick there. Forced by not really bearing too much fruit here on the mid aggression. Struggling to really activate. Getting shut down by this mid control that NRG takes so dominantly, but there's a bit of resistance there. JS Feldner knows how to handle some of that pressure there and does still quite nicely. Got that lower aggression as well from underpass. And it could be more opportunities here for Beast to sneak up there. It's a good trade from Nitro, but that catwalk peek does get punished at the very least. So, a chance to scale out into the A side.
And he's a little afraid right now. Flashbang over the jungle was being waited for, and I think Nitro's been heard inside of connector. Bomb plant for default is going to be really powerful. Trying to take some extra space, getting out towards triple now. And Nitro, I don't think he expects the position. He's waiting on a flank from George. Oh, what a dink from Axarka. He got a dink through the wall. Nitro on alert. Trade there from JS Feltner, peeking up the contact. George running up ramp. 2 headshots delivered. And InControl will win the force buy.
I mean, able to just punish a lot of that mid aggression right there. Something that not a lot of teams could do comfortably versus a team like NRG right now in North America. This is one of their, strong maps here that they've been able to develop and get a lot better with Nitro in the roster. And one of the big leading factors of that is how dominant they can take this mid control on CT side. How many resources they can just throw down at you and see if you can handle the aggression. And so far, so good. Everyone able to play effectively around how they punish the re-aggro right there. So a fantastic answer back here coming early from this InControl roster. And the next reaction there, the force buy getting punished already.
Yeah, just a 5-7 on the site. Bro does drop in with the deagle, but he needed the initial. And Axarka there with the double entry, looking clean with it. Exciting players. Yeah, Axarka joining up with this lineup just last week for this InControl's roster's previous games. Tyra does clean up the remainder of NRG's force buy. So 2 new characters linking up with InControl in these past 7 days. And for the record, they were, what, 1 in 15 since the Exarca change, but they picked up a 2-0 over lag in the process and kind of, you know, saved what could have been an embarrassing season. InControl were getting owned left, right, and center, but now they have two promising players on their roster in the form of Exarca and Scorchy. So, cool names. You might see some more here in North America.
There you go. Make sure to keep some attention there. Some mid fly through. Rolls on out there for the side of NRG. Good reaction to just take that A space off the back of it. Gonna gather some comfortable control, get their utility down. A little bit of extension there from JS Feldner, but he still gets his kill, so it's worth it. He gets his one. It could be maybe a save here from Hex to try and call it a day. Some good looks early on from InControl. Taking a fine start to this after losing the pistol. Denying Hexa Galil to hold on to as well.
And all of a sudden, we have a game. This is one of InControl's best starts they could possibly ask for against NRG. I mean, just to talk about some of the score lines that InControl have been handed lately. I mean, they got 13-0'd this season by Nouns. That was, you know, you can't say it was great. I think this roster may have been falling apart at the seams. They're missing a couple of strong players to really carry them through tough games.
I think one of the hard things to do is bounce back from those sort of tough losses as well. And if they're able to do that here, pick up some good wins on the end of the season, that'll be a good proof of concept. And they just elite George. 1 HP left for JS Feldner, but he'll walk away with the opening duel. Trying to hold on to this mid control, but Hex is just not giving any peeks right now. Stuck on the outside looking in right on the fights, and they've already taken space on B right now.
Yeah, and then Exarca drops out of Palace. Everyone's just falling. Everyone's just losing their duels. Exarca slices through mid. Hits every shot. And InControl are up 4-1. This is a dream right now for this team, who had been getting body bagged for most of their season, adding in 2 upstarts. And well, this series isn't on. NRG, no stranger to bad starts. But for InControl, you've got to be elated by how this is going.
I mean, that's just such an easy looking gun round as well. Definitely got to be some serious concerns here in the minds of NRG at the moment. They're getting absolutely destroyed here, and it looks like a lot of their setups getting really well read. Great understanding of how to break down these, again, pretty aggressive mid control here. It doesn't hurt when you have the amount of entry success that they're finding, but still.
Yeah, that previous round is a good read that there's no one actually playing on the B site proper. You just send 2 players to fight the cat guys. And sometimes favorable for the T side. They kind of don't even really pay attention or respect the site hold. Some poke and prod here. Oh, Feltner had a chance for a kill, but not giving it. Just had to fire, but didn't get that one down. But as the cat split comes through, the stack starts to unravel, or does it? 2 5-7 kills come through, and they pack their bags and leave. On the other side of the map, Exarca's making moves. He has Nitro out towards the default box. Feltner, this kill is, it could be whatever. The bomb is out, running into A. Nitro is tucked away on the site, but he can't get the kill. But now everyone else dies for the side of InControl. And with George and CT spawn, this might just be the end of the road. 15 seconds, knife out, and a 5-7 to finish it. An eco round victory for NRG.
That's gonna kind of take the wind out of your sails there pretty quickly. How that eco ends up becoming there. I mean, it looked like, you know, potentially Nitro with a miss on that position could have cost him a little bit more. Just not a big concern, though. Finds their way through the round. And an eco to kind of respond here quickly. These slow starts have been kind of, you know, in some of these ECL matches, a little bit of a theme. If you remember how they looked early on versus Nouns, it was a a little concerning, but it looked really good in those second halves, and that we didn't see those second halves come through versus Party Astronauts in that sweep of a night. So now let's see if they can speed it up a little bit here. Nitro on the site, able to lock in a couple of quick kills. Stuck in the back of this firebox, so bailed out by some support coming through from his teammate. HE locks him in. The utility continues to reign over here. More duel for Scorchy before he can get into the site, but the CT rotates so quick from Hex, tossing in flashes and securing kills there to back it up. It's 2 in a row here for NRG.
Yeah, real scrimmy play there from InControl. They wanted to just blast through and outgun players on the site, and I don't blame them. InControl have been shooting harder so far in this matchup. The problem is that Nitro stayed alive for so long at that ninja position, and you saw OC gets a couple of sides to him, and those result in some easy kills, buying time for those rotates. InControl didn't get the kills they wanted. They lose the round. Now it's mid-aggression, though. NRG want to bring the fight.
Scorchy able to handle that first push. Bro, taken down, trying to get aggressive towards that top mid position here. Flash's utility continues to rain out, and they delay the push out towards middle, handling the initial poke from NRG, and then they throw the utility in late to gather that control here. So fantastic setup for now InControl in the 4v5 to try and get back on track with these rifles once again.
Looks like it's going to be a mid-collapse in the 4v5 for NRG. They're not going to stand around and wait. A molly to underpass, but it's not good enough. They're going to get all cut down. Tyre as well, 2 from the chair position, and OC's going to do his best to 1v5 save.
Beautiful execution right there. I mean, that's just, you know, capitalizing on a missed bit of utility. Yes, molly was a little too shallow. That probably hurts NRG a little bit, but they're so aware that that is coming through. Once again, talking about the good reads on the setup here from InControl. 4 players collapsing in a 4v5 towards middle is kind of hard to anticipate, but they know what's coming next. Now OC's up, misses out on a timing towards market just a tad there. That could be compromising. Missed shot, not going to do him any favors either. Beast tagged out on the chase here, but looking to provide some pressure. OC cannot escape.
Oh, this has gotten problematic. The money is screwed for the CT side at the moment. NRG are going to have to take a while to get their wheels going again. You know, it was a half-by victory that got them started in this very first half. They're going to need to pull another bit of magic here to get the engine started, or we're looking at a dominant half for InControl. I mean, that being helped out, of course, by some excellent reads of the situation. Easy opening kills as well. Patience from Scorchy's AWP. This InControl team is showing some real measured and tempered gameplay so far against NRG.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, here's some good anticipation coming through here. Looks like they've been able to do some decent reads as to what the setups are going to be looking like here on the defensive, which is a promising sign here for this team. I mean, as you highlighted there, has a lot of potential. They're able to put in the early work to set themselves up for success. The issue is they got to get past these rounds comfortably. So the situation that you love to capitalize on here if you want to continue to get the ball moving. You got a pretty hefty setup on this A side right now. A lot of connector presence to deal with JS Feltner early. Some quick rotates on Cat here.
Yeah, Feltner's at a big risk right now. He's surrounded by 4 players. And he spots 2 in connector. That's going to start the acceleration right into a 5-7. And it's gone horribly wrong for InControl. With 30 seconds on the clock, Nitro with another headshot and a complete shutdown. NRG score another pistol round victory.
Yeah, just going to continue to live on those. You can see how strong the setup was numbers-wise there for NRG. And some of the reactions that we've gotten out of InControl off the back of seeing that there's some pretty heavy mid setups is to escalate the A call and to speed it up a little bit. So maybe you're going through smokes in this last round. And this time NRG have an abundance of players ready to go to deal with that as well. NRG giving them some good reads of their own here. Already being able to identify some of the ways they succeed in these rounds.
Yeah, you can see just how that mid lurk gets punished so quickly by the collapse. That's exactly what NRG want to find. They want to find an isolated mid lurk. They don't want to find a team. They get that, and the fact that Nitro posts up, of course, that 2K is enough to end the round on the spot. Just the fact that there's a smoke in A main as that mid control comes in. A bit of mistiming there from Feltner and discoordination with his teammates. So we'll see if that gets fixed up here for InControl. We've got mid control on the cards, and we're looking at yet another mid collapse. 2 players inside of connector for NRG.
A whole lot of help here in this connector position right now. Go through numbers of that problem, and so far so good. OC able to track a kill on top of that box, falls out, but bro bites the bullet. He pays the price as the spam eventually tracks him. OC still happy to be up and kicking right now, but that window flank looking like it could be the next point of contact here. JS Feltner not looking to stay silent. Another kill of OC, prepared for the jungle poke and prod there. JS Feltner still yet to really show his face just yet in this position. And he might catch OC with his back turn, but the damage definitely feels like it's done here. Time running a little bit low, and Nitro left on an island on this A side right now.
Surprised Feltner's not using his molly in a power position at the moment. This could cut rotates and buy valuable time. It could also force a fight from the default player. Nitro's been seen. Here comes that molly, or rather just a grenade, and then Feltner gets flanked. That molly needed to go into that default position to force a fight with 15 seconds remaining. And all Scorchy can do is save.
Yeah, I mean, part of that challenge right there as well is the positioning from Nitro being very valuable, but also that bomb being dropped in the 3v2 and top of mid. So he has to go a long way around to go pick that up, and it's just at that point, I think JS Feltner looking to buy time for that long rotation in, but there's just not enough time for that. And like you said, just kind of leaving that valuable real estate there with minimal impact. Ends up being a tough loss there for InControl, but still keeping things nice and back and forth here. Timeout called from InControl, looking to capitalize on the few rounds they have left on this T side.
Yeah, NRG doing a good job at punishing some of the mistakes for InControl. That top connector smoke was not anticipated. How it landed, super awkward, and allowed OC to play that elevated angle. Because I'm sure the player scaling cat, I believe that was Tyra, he's ready for the headshot angle that's normally played. He wasn't ready for the standing one, so that's how OC only gets away by taking 60 damage in the engagement. So some miscues for InControl are finally showing. They got off to a great start, but as the game goes on, you always see some extra mistakes from these teams.
That's where NRG are definitely going to capitalize here. Scorchy taking a lot of initiative, it seems like. This AWP, a deep smoke not going to give him any access, though. So I have to rethink this idea. Switch up the vision. And set their sights elsewhere for an opening duel. Back towards middle. I like the idea of being able to reroute this round here. Find a new direction for themselves to work through here. And flying out towards middle. Bro spots a whole lot.
Bro might be in trouble. Oh, the nade slams Tyra right in the face, but only gets him for 50 damage. Weirdly enough, mid control for InControl is actually putting the scare on NRG, but as Tyra falls and the chance for a shot into the site, I think Scorchy's more likely to save this AWP than utilize it in a site take.
Well, he's part of the pack right now. But like you said, I think those pistols are just going to go in and die while he maybe hangs back here. 15 seconds left on the clock. See if your teammates can't get any ground. Maybe post up on market window. But he actually gets blasted by Bro. The whole team comes crumbling down from that point. And a flawless defense from NRG. On to 6 here, looking to take the lead in this half. Mission accomplished so far.
Yeah, NRG found their groove, got caught off by a couple of strong individual moments from players like Zarka, especially on those A-side lurks. Oh, but that missed window smoke, that's gonna cost InControl. Nothing seen top middle, and now the rotates are going to be very, very fast in just a moment. Here comes the execute. Nitro's in position, he needs help. But surprisingly, it's not quite here. Tyra needs the kill. He hasn't found it.
What?
And Nitro has stayed alive throughout this entire site play. He's gotten 2 again. But this round's not done. Exarca putting damage down range. OC falls. We got a 2v2.
George hopping right now. Just got to figure out a way to capitalize on these low HP bars, but Hex slides up here first, and the flashbang catches fully onto George. Zarka will go down eventually. Takes a little delay there, but to get the job done here, we'll be tossing this one off to a quick break, and once we come back, half number 2.
And we are back aboard. InControl, handing NRG their usual slow start. But eventually, they try to challenge Nitro on that A site multiple times, and they pay dividends. for it, or they have to pay their dividends. I'm not, I'm 21, Cole. I'm not too well versed in the stock market.
Yeah,
so.
something about like if the stock goes up, it's good, and then down you lose money or something.
Yeah.
Not sure what the old details are, but so interesting round here. They execute A.
The fake.
They get the stack off of B.
They just kill everybody.
They're just going for kills. They're taking both the sites and they're doing it pretty well at the moment. Somehow JS Feltner is in transition, getting targeted by the mid lurk now, and InControl probably very confused as to what just happened.
I mean, it's a funny way how it works is where you activate through B, and then you pull some of the A players away, and then you activate through A while the players are rotating away, and then somehow the B players, they're not really supposed to get all the kills, but they did. I think the strategy worked way more than it should have. And that's a huge problem for InControl. I'm never really... I've become less and less of a fan of the CT side full eco, because there will be no op and play for the first gun round, and you are running out of time at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been on that train there for a little while of like, I think in a lot of situations it depends on the, team and the comfortability with rifles versus like how much you rely on your op, but also the first half scoreline, I think a lot of times you were kind of left to probably have to make the decision to force in a lot of these situations so that you can get the op out for the first gun round. And that means you have to, get an extra save there. Some teams are even like, I saw Furia do this quite a bit, where they don't even like save either round. They kind of half buy both of them.
I see. Let's get a 5-7 out, right?
Yeah, like a couple half buys in a row there. Give yourself a chance on 2 rounds, and then third round buy. Especially if they have big leads, they do that quite a bit.
The 5-7 is an insane weapon. I will just say. That is... on CT side, I don't think I'm ever buying a Deagle again. Because, like... It's only good for long ranges, the Deagle. But you play close as a sight anchor with a 5-7, 20 bullets, first bullet headshot. It's good stuff. But it seems like... aggressive stancing here for InControl. A push into Palace... removes Bro.
See what they can do here with that opening pick. Not a whole lot here as the kills start flooding through. Oh! And a double from George as he spins for the Cat player. It's going to give them access from a 4v5 to a very quick turnaround in favor of NRG. Looking to take over in the second half here.
Oh, the timing works out so perfectly for everything on NRG. Once that first kill comes through on the ramp, both connector players hand their back to George. And he just absolutely sinks in the knife there. Real tough stuff. George gonna clear this? Oh, don't knife him. Oh, fortunately, he turned around. George will take him out with conventional methods. He even took time to nade his teammate. Nice man, George. It's 10-5. But that... I was gonna say, that's the power of one kill. Right there. Just the fact that the kill not just opens up the map, it just makes everyone unsettled. They start looking at their mini-map, they start scrambling for answers, and that's where it all goes wrong.
They so quickly turn a very comfortable situation where you rely on everyone being up there and healthy and watching their posts versus getting quickly disrupted right there, and that's exactly what happens. Again, some of the lurking presence that George brings to the table as well, like he's going to capitalize on a lot of that. 9 times out of 10 here, the Deagle shots not coming through though in the early stages. A-site access granted here. Molly kind of awkward for Hex to play off of. A lot of CTs huddled around in spawn, so Hex got to be careful, and he's eventually just going to toss in an HE there. That's a nice one.
Oh, this is just going to be the fun part of the round. As 5 players ready to go over the top right into 5 AKs. We all know how this one's gonna go. Single 1D come through from Scorchy. Anything extra not to be. NRG, they got off to a cold start. They were down 4-1. And now lead by 6 down the stretch. Mirage is in the palm of their hands.
Just a quick turnaround here. I mean, living in that first half off the back of a couple of really good ecos. And again, I think if you're in control, this scoreline looks so much more bleak than how things really started off here. But those 2 ecos in the first half limit your chances. And that's kind of what we expect out of the younger teams right now, and might struggle in those situations when they're up against kind of a big team like NRG and the sort of weight that they play in the scene. Those mistakes definitely going to flare up here and there. But no room for error anymore. Gotta play flawless, and bro's just looking to test your sight again.
Ooh. That's a good shot from Scorchy, though. George out mid, though, with the bomb. Jay has Feltner making a risky play. He has just made a sound cue, and George knows that. Feltner, though, comes through with the proper spam, knows what's coming. Hex doesn't check right beneath him. There is a trade back from OC. But the bomb down in the middle of the open on Cat. NRG will have to frag their way out of this situation.
Flashbang to try and get up connector right now. Looks just to turn the attention. Almost a multi there from Nitro. Looking to transfer the spray as the attention wasn't his way. But the flank comes through eventually up catwalk there. JS Felder puts a close to that with confidence. I'll hang around here a little while longer on Mirage for this defense.
Yeah, it took some really bold play, especially from Feltner in that round. The smoke spam, and he also steps in front of the molly. He doesn't let Nitro have any space. But you can only imagine if Nitro's... Rather, only imagine if Nitro is watching that catwalk position. He probably gets that kill. That angle's very unfavored for him. So NRG still with some chances. This time another set of mid control, but there's Scorchy's off. Unexpected angle on the catwalk. And another opening kill for InControl.
Back-to-back openings here from Scorchy, trying to elevate towards the A side now, and Palace trade does come through eventually. OC trying to slide out there. Double zoom doesn't know favors though. A little too much visual. Ends up being used against him now. And George just left to try and provide some damage on the way out of this round. That's a crazy tap right there.
Okay.
What a start. HE sails by him. Second one, nice bounce pass right there on target. And that'll catch the kill. Couple rounds in a row looking good.
Non-stop opening picks coming through for InControl. Scorchy with 3 so far this game. And the opping presence is well worth it. We have an interesting game on the cards. You would think it would be a blowout, but these new additions for InControl have definitely been putting in the work and winning them rounds. Xarka especially leading off this game with a triple kill on the force buy. And now Scorchy scoring openers. So this time around, NRG are going to run it slow. They're going to do a neutral default. They're going to start this round with nothing. No mid control, no smoke zone, anything. And they want to see what InControl will do.
Understandable adjustment here. They've been trying to kind of get a little bit aggressive there out A, and for a couple rounds in a row, some respect forced here by the CT side with a couple of really good op shots, giving them some opening picks and making their life a little easier.
Oh, Nitro gets picked in middle, though. But that means that the B-side could be weak, and it is. The flashbangs though are excellent, but Exarca might be better. He spray transferred too. A player flew above his head, he took him out, and then got the one right next to him. And NRG have been stonewalled by Exarca.
I mean, pulling back this comeback here. It's been that deadly duo right there. Scorchy providing a lot of opening duels here for the squad. And that B defense looking locked down. So again, looking like things were looking down and out here for this InControl squad. But they're forcing a timeout here on the side of NRG. So they realize that closing out this game not as easy as they would have hoped.
And it's all thanks to Exarca. He's the only B-side defender here for InControl. The other players were stuck out towards middle, out of position. If Exarca doesn't deliver the multi-kill, Feltner's in trouble and he falls next. We have an easy B-side. He was full blind, as you could see, from his perspective. A mandatory hold. It shows that this team can hang here in ECL. There's no doubt. They have the firepower to do it with these new additions.
Absolutely. Proved it early on in that first half. They're now starting to show it more consistently. After this timeout here, we've seen NRG come up with some cool ideas for the A execute smokes. They try and bring that out once again. They're looking to overwhelm the site, and they just found the opener here. Scorchy provides some coverage with the AWP. There's that plant that goes inside the smoke right now, peeking up at the top of the stairs. Tyra pulling this round back, but no one's watching the Nitro jump through.
Oh.
It could all be on Hex. A P250, but it's winnable. Low HP in the scale towards triple. Almost connecting through the smoke right there, but now he's low just the same. And runs into the spam of JS Feltner. An absolute scare, but will be secured here by the CT side.
I mean, imagine if Nitro gets the kill with the Tech 9, and the round is done, and probably the game in that very same way. We continually see that NRG A-side execute that tries to fight towards CT spawn consistently gets them bomb plants and almost got them a bit more. They even got Scorchy in CT spawn. I thought that's where the round was going to hinge. Scorchy was in CT spawn the whole round. That's where the op can hold. No, NRG run him over. This team is still scary. Despite InControl having some players of their own. Aid for mid control. Scorchy loses vision. And NRG come through with a fiery opener. As George snipes the cat player, he does get traded by Tyra, but surely he doesn't last long down here. Indeed, he doesn't. A 2v4 off the rip, InControl to fight off series point.
You have to rely on that duo here that got them to this point here. Scorchy providing so many openings. They're going to unify. I mean, they're in the perfect position to try and make this happen. I already got that built-up chemistry. Can they offer up a close accordingly? Trying to jump past this op scope. One quick kill. They're going to chase down Ozaka in the back of the site, but he can't find anything here. It's just the op presence now left standing, and Hex surprises both with some quick headshots there to seal the deal. NRG are going to claim themselves map point here on Mirage.
I mean, that could have been it. If Exarca finds that initial entry, who knows what happens. It's 2v2, and NRG are committed at that point. The new guns for InControl. Exarca had one fantastic B hold. He couldn't deliver a second. And just short of the delivery there. NRG on map point. Trying to dodge a big surprise. Already, what is an overperformance here from InControl. Unfortunately, looking like this might be the end of the road. Tons of damage on the JS Feltner and Tyra down. InControl just going to throw themselves back at the problem. We've got Beast inside of the connector.
Might be able to surprise here. If he gets aggressive, though, he's going to be in for a huge surprise. A whole greeting committee. Looks like he's just interested in the idea here. But no commitments being made. Again, NRG have kind of learned a lesson about how quickly they go about taking these rounds. More slow, measured approach, trying to work some re-aggression right now into the map and punish it when the CT side feels uncomfortable, but really not giving them a lot to work off of here. They are holding their setups and trusting in the individual ability to multi-kill here for these players.
Yeah, we've got Beast. Oh, he catches a barrel around the edge of the smoke. He's running out of ammo, though. He cannot afford to keep spamming this. And in the meantime, oh, Exarca, though, doesn't cover the back end. Beast does fall. George getting frisky with it, and OZ cuts a rotate. Exarca dealt with, and NRG do dodge a bullet. Another strugglesome start, but down the stretch, they do show why they do have that finesse. It's NRG taking it 13-9.
I mean, a good look in the close right there coming through from NRG. Off the back of the timeout as well, able to really stop the momentum.